We are electric football. Mighty, mighty electric football. He is Stu Pace.
He is Steve Brown.
All right, there you go. We are seated here today before the world. And I don't know what Stuart is talking about. We are seated here today before the world to make our Week 2 2019 NFL picks. And there are many dangers in front of us. There are bad coaching decisions. There's unknown weather. There's drunken, fumbling fullbacks. But you know what? We're going to make those picks.
We're going to sift through all that.
We are electric football. Stu Pace, get us going.
All right, the first game is another Thursday night yawner. Man, was that last week's?
That was
bad.
A horrible
That was
game.
bad. This is Bucs Panthers, and you know, Jameis Winston throwing 3 picks isn't going to help you, especially playing the 49ers, who aren't that good. The Panthers didn't muster much in the throwing department on Sunday, and yet they were, you know, kind of close in the game here. Ronald Jones, Tampa, 73 yards. I didn't even know who he was. I had to look it up. But I think you're going to see a lot of McCaffrey. Boy, that guy, yeah, he really took over that game the other day for the Panthers. And I am predicting the Panthers win. And here's an addendum to our show. I'm going to pick the first 4 games every week with the line, too.
Oh, look at you. Go ahead.
Because people want to know. So I'm taking the Panthers, but not to cover the line.
What's the line?
The line, I believe, is 5.
Okay. By the way, without the line, Stu went 11-4-1 last week, and I went 10-5-1. But I did solve an international gardening incident, so I figure we're about even. Though technically he's +1 on me. Anyway, I'm like a relapsed buckaholic last week. It's one of my losses. I need to get off that pirate ship, and to do that, I'm going to take a heavy dose of McCaffrey. I'm with you. They're using him in every way, and quite frankly, you know, Cam over Jameis at this point. Jameis I thought he was going to make a statement with the new coach and everything like that, and instead, not so much.
His statement was, I'm not good.
So I'll take the Panthers, and I will take them, you know, minus whatever the line is, to be perfectly frank.
Yeah, I thought I wrote it down, but for some reason I didn't.
We're going to pick is going to be the Chicago Bears at the Denver Broncos.
All right.
Go Bears!
Woo!
We'll let him in.
Get out of here, kid. So that is the shame of my life. My son, who has decided to break my cracker heart and become a Bears fan. So what do we got? We got Bears at Broncos. Stu?
Okay. Well, Trubisky, he looked like absolute shit against the Packers.
Watch that language, Stu. I got a minor here.
Oh, sorry. He looked like absolute merde versus the Packers. But can he rebound? You were kind of high on him. You know, I don't know. The Bears should have won that game had they had a quarterback last week, and they just couldn't get anything going. But you're asking Flacco to air it out because they can't run the ball either. You're not going to do that against the Bears. It could be close based on the offensive putridity of the Bears, but I'm taking the Bears either way.
Yeah, this is a matchup. Thursday night game was horrible. Aaron Rodgers basically had one drive in him, and that was enough to win the game. Trubisky was misfiring all over the place. Flacco looked better if you go by the stats, but you know, if you watched the game last night, I wasn't all that impressed with him. And I really wasn't impressed by the Broncos' ability to stack up against the run when they needed to. You know, end of the game, and you're letting guy go 9-10 yards for a first down that seals it. That's not a strong defense. So I like Chicago in this one based on defensive intensity, and that they are going to be able to push the Broncos off the line when they need to.
Yeah, the D will probably score more than the offense for the Bears.
All right, we've got Cardinals at the Ravens, also known as a
bird fight.
There you go.
Got a couple this week.
Cardinals came alive at the end of that game, but they came alive against a bad Lions team. Boy, the Lions should have closed that one out. And I got to tell you, I said it last week, I'll say it again. Kyler Murray's not going to make it. He's very fast, he's very elusive, but he is very, very small. And sooner or later, one of those Jim Burt-like hits from the back, you know, that just snaps the quarterback is coming. It just is. And I don't think he's going to be able to get up from it. Jackson had a... Oh, man, it's going to be a long season.
Oh, wait, excuse me.
For Stu's Dolphins.
Ravens just scored again.
The Ravens put up 59. What was with that big
I
punt?
couldn't even go
against
take a piss because I was afraid I'd miss another 80-yard touchdown by the Ravens.
So the Ravens picked clean the
Darkins.
the Dolphins carcass.
First beer.
And like that dolphin washed up on the shore.
Just took the spine out of the fish and threw it back in the water.
And the raven was pecking on its eye before it stopped breathing. I'm taking the Ravens easily, and they're going to start out 2-0.
Yeah, this is the second week in a row they could score 59 points because Arizona's defense is awful as well. Murray did have the fourth quarter heroics, which at least made the game interesting because there were not a lot of one-score games near the end of the day. It was a lot of just very decided games, contests. So this was at least fun to watch near the end. But the Ravens D is going to feast on this guy. I mean, this is the week where your prediction of him getting hurt could very well happen because they might be able to sack the living heck out of this guy. Lay the 13, take the Ravens. They're going to win by 49.
I'll tell you what, somebody did the Ravens a favor when they set up this early schedule. I mean, come on.
You play the worst two teams in the league.
Yeah, right.
Oh, and Luck will retire.
There you go. So it's setting up nicely for the Ravens. We have the Cowboys at Washington, and the Cowboys enjoyed a nearly, talking about the third worst team, the Giants might be the third worst team.
Yeah.
The Cowboys were flawless against them, just on offense, just flawless. Eli did not look horrible against them, so maybe there's some hope with the Redskins. But I believe Geis is already injured.
Yep.
My apologies to Vernon Davis because I was mocking him for being an old man, and he had the highlight of the week, jumping over a guy.
That was ridiculous.
Breaking between two guys that both should have had him and scoring a touchdown. So God bless Vernon Davis.
He texted me. He said, "Did you see that?" I'm like, "Give me a minute." Holy crap.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, I expect the Cowboys to gallop away with this one. You see what I did there?
Yeah, I did. Oh, man. So the Pale Faces and the Redskins, this is easy. It's Dallas all the way. Dallas, we all knew could run, but now they can apparently throw, too. I mean, Dak looked very comfortable back there. It seems like every play worked.
Witten, Cooper.
And, for a minute, I'm like, when did Zeke Elliott come back? I mean, I didn't even realize, because I'm in such a depression, that he was playing already. Yeah, Skins go 0-2 in the division. I mean, back-to-back losses to division rivals are going to be tough, but it's the Cowboys. Give the 5 and take Dallas either way, straight up or 5.
I'm with you on that. So we got Colts at Titans. I got to tell you, I watched both of these games. I have no idea what to make of either of these teams. I honestly, this is a coin flip to me. Both teams look better than I expected them to. Titans had probably the best win of week 1, which I did not expect. Coin flip, I'm taking the Titans because they're at home. What's the line on it?
The Titans are giving 3, and I would give that.
I would give that too.
Although the Colts had the heroic, comeback there.
Yeah, there were a couple, like we talked about with the Cardinals and the Colts. There were some heroic comebacks, but you can't count on heroic comebacks at the end of every game. So give me the Titans in this one, but these are two teams that I'm going to need to study better to get a good grasp of what they can do.
Absolutely. Fired up Titans defense. They had a lot of picks in the game. Cam Wake is crushing it. We miss you, Cam. Don't come home. You'd be dead. And the Colts send the game to overtime versus the Chargers. That's on the Chargers. Everyone who's picked the Chargers to go very far this year, wake up. That ain't happening.
It is.
This will be a close game. The Titans are giving 3. I give the 3 to the Colts and take Tennessee at home.
Seattle at Pittsburgh. We definitely disagree on the Chargers thing. So Seattle at Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh had perhaps... Luke, stop, buddy. Got to just jump in there. Pittsburgh had perhaps the most disappointing start to a season. They got rolled by the Patriots. Yeah. Seahawks, I really like what I saw out of DK Metcalf. I don't think that the Chargers, especially with Watt potentially injured, I don't think they can stop Carson, Lockett, Metcalf. I like Seattle to win fairly easily here. You have a spread on that one?
I don't, because this would be the 5th game, and I'm not doing that.
There we go.
Anyway, I disagree. I think Pittsburgh can take advantage of the Seahawks' pretty bad secondary. I mean, the Bengals picked them apart, and I see maybe a resurgent Pittsburgh team this week after that embarrassing loss. And I hate the Hawks on the road. I've always hated the Hawks on the road. So
yeah, Pittsburgh at home helps definitely.
Yeah, I'm taking them just because they're home and Seattle's on the road.
All right. Bills at Giants, and this one's really easy. The Giants defense was just helpless, and I don't see any reason they're going to rise up and be able to do something against the Bills. The Bills defense is very good. It's going to be a low scoring game. The Bills will win that game. I don't know what the spread is on this. I expect it to be fairly close, but I got to tell you, I don't see I think the calls for Daniel Jones are going to start coming quicker and quicker because the Giants are going to start 0-2.
Yeah, and it's not going to help them, though. I mean, and Buffalo's defense, well, Gase lost that game. I'm sorry, I said it last week. Crazy Eyes Gase doesn't know how to beat Buffalo. I'll say that till he beats them. The Bills are second week in a row in New Jersey, and that's happening for the Dolphins later in December, back-to-back against the fake New York teams, the fake Jets and the fake Giants, because Buffalo's the only true New York team. I think the bend but don't break Bills defense does enough. If Frank Gore can get going for Buffalo, I think they have a chance. I am going to take Buffalo.
All right, San Francisco at the Bengals, and I got to tell you, moral victories go to the Bengals. Like you were saying, they put up a good game. Dalton was impressive. Sam Hubbard on defense was impressive and getting 2 sacks and 10 tackles. I kind of like the Bengals here. I'm surprised I'm saying that.
Ooh,
but
I know, me too.
I kind of like the Bengals here. Not that San Francisco laid an egg or anything. I just think that the Bengals have a more explosive offense. I mean, if they had AJ Green, oh my goodness, So it seems like they're getting a little bit of balance on both sides of the ball. I'll take the Bengals in a surprise here.
Yeah, and I expected a lot more running from Cincinnati, but they seem to be able to get through the Seahawks secondary. I'll see that again against the Niners. I don't think the Niners defense is as good as everyone purports them to be. I mean,
well, you got Bosa there. You got the Ohio State defensive ends to see who gets the most pressure.
Yeah, true. I'm just taking the Bengals to win one at home. Opening day, they looked ready on Sunday on a road game, and maybe they'll be ready this Sunday in their own stadium.
Yeah, that's kind of my theory too. Chargers at Lions, and we saw the Lions fall apart at the end of the game. If you watched last week or listened to a couple seconds ago, that I'm a big believer in the Chargers' depth on both sides of the ball. I really think they're a complete team this year. I really think they come out and they just roll the Lions. And, Austin Eckler and et al., I give them, I don't know, I'm going to say a 14-point win in this one. I think it's going to be a crazy, easy game for them.
The Chargers needed almost all of overtime to beat the Colts. So is that weak Chargers or strong Colts?
It's weak Lions is the reason I'm doing this. I think the Lions are horrible.
No, but I mean, was the Chargers win they're strong or the Colts were weak?
I know what you're saying, and you can kind of make your decision on a game too early, and the Chargers early in that game were impressive. So maybe I've made my mind up. Maybe I'm doing confirmation bias or whatever, but I'm a believer in the Chargers this year.
Right. I'm taking the underdog Lions to win one at home.
Okay.
That's all.
You had the better record last week, folks, so listen to them. So, Vikes at Packers, as we talked about at the start of this, Packers came out awful. Aaron Rodgers was able to put together basically one drive, and that won a game against the Bears. But that's not going to beat the Vikings. Vikings jumped out 28-0 on the Falcons. Vikings defense was dominant, and they were getting the sacks from their defensive line. I think Barr got one, but it was Hunter and Griffin and Joseph getting the pressure, getting the sacks, causing the turnovers. Dalvin Cook was finishing his runs. Alexander was finishing his runs. Cousins had to throw, 10 passes?
10 passes. It was like 1972.
Right. If that can be our recipe for the... Seriously.
The mighty Vikings took it to the...
Bob Greasy was 4 for 5 today.
It's true.
So God bless us. If the Vikings can use that formula against the Packers in Green Bay, we're going to win this game. We're going to win this game.
Yeah, I like the Vikings here to stake their claim on the division for the first time in a while. It'll be a bigger test because Trubisky is not behind center for the opposing team this week. But, yeah, I think that Aaron Rodgers will be stymied by your defense. I think you have a very good offense. Cook remaining healthy is the difference. I like the Vikes.
That's huge. And our cornerbacks got a little banged up this week. I'm not sure of the status on a couple of the guys. So that could be a big factor.
Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Tuesday, so that could be a big factor. Stupid Thursday games make us do this early, but yeah, as long as the Vikings secondary is somewhat intact, I like us in this one. Jags at Texans. Go, Stu.
You lose Foles like 5 minutes into the game, your season's done. I don't care what. Who's this guy? Benedict Cumberbatch? Gardner
Minshew.
McKay, whatever. Texans were a play or two short of an upset on the road last night. Their offense is a Will Fuller's catch, going backwards behind a guy's back to come up with that 54-yarder, indicated to me that they've got some stuff up their sleeves.
Yeah, and Deshaun Watson was lively as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, especially early on that run where he jumped in, and he may have hurt his back, but loved watching him. We'll love watching Hopkins. Love the Clemson connection there. And I'm with you. The Foles injury was crushing to the Jags. If you saw first week, if you didn't, go back and look at week one. I'm huge on the Jags this year, and that just went right out the window. So, move the Patriots up in my pecking order and just take the Jags out. They're in a lot of trouble.
Congratulations, New England.
It's a shame because Nick Foles seems like a really great guy, and I hope he comes back from it. But, they predicated their whole offseason on we need to replace the quarterback. They got Foles in there, and boom, just gone.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Just a shame. Well, luckily he's playing for you.
Oh, yeah, lucky me.
Don Majkowski. I mean, they gotta.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, not to do this again, but if you're the Jags, are you looking at Colin Kaepernick and going, why the hell not?
Why the hell not?
I mean, seriously, why the hell not?
I would.
Pats at Dolphins. It's just a question of by how much, folks.
Yeah, so the Finns come off the bye week last week. And they're going to give up another 59 to this team. I mean, this is not even...
They're going to give up more than 59.
This is not a contest. The only thing that could happen is Bill Belichick feels sorry for Brian Flores, and after the 58th point goes, we'll put in our subs, because Baltimore, fake punt for what the...
Kids here.
Pharmaceutical did you have to do that for? You hate us. You've beaten us every time you played us. This is no contest.
Is there some bad blood there? Is there a Harbaugh thing?
I have no idea. But you know what? Let's talk about Antonio Brown for a minute. You don't think that Belichick had this all designed?
Oh, there's some tampering going on there.
Oh, my God.
I do a $15 million contract in about an hour?
Let's get Robert Mueller on that thing, because that stinks.
Yeah, Rosenhaus doesn't negotiate a $15 million, we'll take whatever you give us.
Yeah.
No way in hell.
Patriots by 49.
And the Dolphins are setting a very dangerous precedent here with the tanking. I mean, we've seen it in the NBA. We've seen Stewart drop
the Colts did it. They sucked for luck.
Okay, but there's a slight difference.
What?
They didn't trade away all their players before the season.
What's the difference?
They didn't trade away all their players before the season.
There's no difference.
How many games did they win that year? 2?
I couldn't tell you.
2 more than the Dolphins.
And you know what? They're going to have to suck for Tua, because...
you're sucking for Tua.
Oh, we are, but I don't want him. But so are the Colts now, because Brissett ain't your answer.
They're not sucking for anybody. They fought hard. Your guys were already calling to leave the team after this week's game.
That's all a phony story.
There's already a revolution in the locker room.
That's fake news.
That's your answer to
let's
everything.
Move on. Chiefs, Raiders.
Chiefs are going to win this game easily. I love that the Chiefs offense, even with the loss of Tyreek Hill, there weren't that many bad injuries in week one. At least it didn't feel that way. Hill and Foles being the two really, really big ones. I think Sterling Shepard
Mahomes looked like he was out for a while.
Yeah, but he finished up the game, didn't he? Yeah. So
questionable.
He's questionable right now, but I think he's going to play. The Chiefs' offense is prolific. The Raiders' defense really impressed me. I got that game wrong, and I would have thought there was some Antonio Brown hangover and all that sort of thing. But they really went out there. They went out there. They competed. I think Derek Carr was just glad he's gone next. But I don't think the Raiders can match up against what the Chiefs throw at you. Scheme-wise, team speed-wise, just talent-wise, I like the Chiefs an awful lot this year.
And I was lucky to pick up Sammy Watkins in fantasy.
Another great clip.
Ka-ching, ka-ching. I'm like, what?
You can make the great. Oh, and God bless you, Hunter Renfro, and your 2 catches for 13 yards. You go, Hunter Renfro. Hashtag Renfro's my man.
Is he Mike Renfro's kid or grandkid?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Don't ask me questions like that.
Yeah, there's the Raiders just aren't going to be able to keep up with even Damian Williams, who was a Dolphin a couple of years ago. You know, everyone leaves Miami and looks like rejuvenated stars. So there's something. I was hoping Hurricane Dorian might just wipe our stadium out.
You put on that Chiefs uniform, and your 40 time goes down like by 2 or 3 points.
And you also never win a playoff game. So go Chiefs.
Oh,
they never do.
Saints at Rams.
Hey!
Stu, go ahead, baby.
Did you see all the refs in the stands?
Yeah, that was actually.
I love that, man.
You gotta like that. I don't like whistle guy though. The guy with the giant whistle.
Oh, I
on
didn't
his
see
head.
him.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, the Saints faced a second straight great offense, and they're on the road this time. I think it's going to be
short week.
On a short week. I think it's a difficult game for them in the round. I think it's close. It's going to be a 1-point game, but I just think Gurley can run a heck of a lot better than what's his name was running for Houston last night.
What's his name?
Good old what's his face. Why am I blanking?
Wasn't it Jacoby Jones?
Yeah. So Gurley looks like he's really in good shape, so he'll probably be injured in warm-ups. And the Saints will win. But I'm taking the Rams. I like the way they look. They've got a chip on their shoulder from last year. I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, they didn't get the kind of defensive pressure I expected them to last week, but I am also with you. I don't think the Saints got. We talked about earlier how the Ravens got a really great opening schedule. I think the Saints got the exact opposite. We're going to give you a meat grinder. Yeah. We're going to give it to you on a short week, and you're going to have to travel to the freaking best team on the West Coast. Good luck with that on the short week. So, I mean, Drew Brees was amazing last night. Will Lutz came through in the clutch. You know, one interesting stat, Brees, until that last play or last pass, Brees did not throw a pass that traveled over 20 yards. So if I'm the Rams, I'm forcing him to throw deep. Mm-hmm. I'm packing my coverage in there and going, beat us over the top. Go ahead. You know, I mean, it seems stupid, but I loved. I'm not a huge fan of the guy, but I love what Booger McFarland said, where he said they're not calling plays anymore. They're They're not calling plays anymore. They're calling players, and they've decided that Alvin Kamara was the key, which I thought that was a really good insight.
And he had one run where I thought he was going to get demolished. I mean, he was a little over the top in flying into people. I think he's got to be a little more careful. He's not that big a guy.
But good teams do that. Good teams figure out, this is the guy we need to go to. This is the key to our offense, and then they figure out what plays best utilize that player. Yeah. The Giants were horrible at that last week. They did not get the ball into Saquon Barkley's hands. I mean, is this rocket science? You give the ball to Saquon Barkley. It's just what you do. Yeah. And in this case for the Saints, you give the ball to Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas. But I do like what the Rams are going to be able to bring to the table. I'm taking the Rams. We got another bird fight. We got Eagles at the Falcons. And I will go ahead. Eagles did not get the kind of defensive pressure on that they should have last week. I watched the Vikings run over a not so talented offensive line in the Falcons and cause chaos and mayhem and turnovers. And I think the Eagles are going to be able to do the same thing. Wentz got off to a little bit of a slow start, but he figured out that Deshaun Jackson was happy to be back in Philadelphia after an exile. And what's not to like? You got a MVP level quarterback who's healthy right now, going against a team that did not protect its quarterback well in the last game. I'm taking the Eagles easy on the road here.
Yeah, there's no run game for Atlanta again, and you can't do that against Philly. Philly took the first half off, figured everything out, and just came roaring back against the Redskins. When I saw it was 17-0, I'm like, are they going to suck this year? No, they aren't. They just needed 30 minutes to put it together, find out who's playing and who's not. And then Darren Sproles entering his 100th season on the 100th anniversary of the NFL.
He's played the entire length of the NFL.
He has. I mean, there's black and white.
But we don't call him Darren Sproles. We call him That little
Darren Sproles. And he's the key to the game, man. What is he, 55 years old? He's going to come in. He's going to make some plays that change the game. I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Falcons.
All right, players on teams that are not your team that you admire. Jason Witten, Darren Sproles,
Now?
Hunter Renfrow, Larry Fitzgerald. These are the type of guys that you go out there. J.J. Watt. There are guys. Aaron Donald. There are guys that you just look at the way they approach the game, and you go, these are guys I like, even though they're not on my team. Stu, do you have a few?
Edelman comes to mind.
You like Edelman?
Well,
wow.
I don't like him. I would hope that he would retire and find a rich lady right now and then never play again.
But you admire the way he plays.
I admire the way he plays. Boy, you're throwing something at me that is awfully difficult to come up with. Russell Wilson.
Yeah, there's a great example.
Here's a guy that I would take any day of the week. Role model, hell of a player, tough. Those are the kind of guys I like.
Yeah, exactly what you want.
Carlos Hyde. Still Carlos Hyde.
Not a superstar.
Never gave a damn about him, but you know what? He's still there. He's contributing big. And then you got a bunch of superstars on other teams that don't add anything to the win.
So in the comment sections, guys, we
like the working class guys.
But I'd like to seriously hear guys you admire that are not on your team, because it's really easy to admire the guys that are on your team. Oh, I love Harrison Smith. Oh, I love Everson Griffin. What about the guys that aren't on the team you root for? Who are the guys in the NFL where you go, I like watching that guy play?
So Travis Kelce.
Throw them in the comments. Yeah, I like Jason Kelce, actually.
Jason Kelce.
Offensive lineman that just gets out there and gets after people. Yep. God bless him.
Last game.
We finish up with Browns at the Jets. And let me tell you, there are 3 phases of the game, and special teams will freaking kill you. The Vikings traded like a 5th-round pick for Vedek, which sounds like the perfect Viking. And we cut him because he just wasn't any good. And the Jets lost a game that they needed desperately because of their schedule, because they couldn't kick field goals. They didn't trust him on extra point. I mean, it's a mess. There are 3 phases of the game.
Gase lost the game.
Yeah, but Vedek, or however the hell you say it, helped him lose that game.
Yeah, and now he's also already in the news. He's blaming everybody else in the organization. The guy's a psycho, man. He's got to go.
Yeah, there were questionable. Kingsbury and Gase are among the very questionable, and your guy.
How did you hire him?
Are among the very, very questionable coaching decisions this year. So the Jets also have some injuries that are pretty crucial. Quinnen Williams is already in a walking boot, and C.J. Mosley evidently pulled his groin. He's going to try and play through it, is what they're saying right now. But
that never works.
Boy, a groin injury is not the kind of thing that heals up really quickly and really easily. So, Mayfield fell apart in the 4th quarter. They did not live up to the hype. Probably second most to the Steelers, maybe. Disappointing Week 1 performance. So the Browns come in hungry. The Jets did not impress, and their cornerbacks are not exactly impressive. So I expect Landry and Odell to have a big game. I expect Mayfield to make some dynamic plays. It's interesting to see the Darnold versus Mayfield young quarterback battle and all that sort of thing. But I think the Browns are going to romp.
Yeah, and a couple of years ago, you wouldn't want to see a Browns-Jets on a Monday night, but now you do.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting game.
You do. But I think there was a nice splash of cold water on the Browns players' faces that they're not all that. They were embarrassed by the Titans, and if you can name 3 Titans in 3 seconds without looking, you'd be better off than me.
Louis Lasik, Gary Bertier.
Shut up. Gary Bertier.
Julius, I can't think of his last name.
Anyway.
Sunshine.
Both of these teams need this win. This is I know it's early. It's game 2. This is crucial. Yeah. Your whole season, you were hyped. This is your year. We're out of the doldrums. One of you loses, and you're still that piece of garbage that we smelled last year
in the
Jets. Dumpster. Same old Jets or same old Browns. I think the Browns have more talent. They certainly don't have Crazy Eyes Gase coaching them. I think they put a win together by 1, and that is electric football.
Well, that's not all. I just want to say in closing,
you do have notes.
Let me tell you that everything that is good about electric football, the analysis, the insight, the entertainment, the fun. That all comes down to one word. And you know what that one word is?
I don't.
Steve. Goodbye.
Goodbye.